This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
This is Creepy Soup on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Hello, and welcome to episode 123 of Creepy Soup. And this week, again, we're welcoming Jason back with, I believe, a list, right?
I have a list. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hey, it's an absolute pleasure to be back on your show. This show has its own vibe. It has its own aura to it. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like when I'm sitting down in the co-host seat of this, like, this is a different mindset coming in to record this show.
Yeah.
Really makes me appreciate what you are doing here a lot more.
Well, thank you. It is different. Even like for sitting in with Power Tripping through the 80s, it is a completely different mindset. I'm used to like dark and creepy shit. And then we go over there and it's like more lighthearted and more fun. And yeah.
It's almost kind of like a low-key mind fuck, you know what I mean? Because peeling the curtain back a little bit, obviously this week's episode of your show is a little bit later in dropping just because of how our schedules worked out this week. But we're actually going to do back-to-back recordings.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be tackling, the dark and scary, the supernatural, that type of thing. And then we're going to take a 5-minute break and try to make that switch and then record Power Tripping through the 80s for Wednesday. So we are on a mental roller coaster here this week.
Yep. We are.
So I want to make mention real quick. I mean, I know this is your show and everything, but I want to make mention, because we talked a little bit about it off air, about the holiday store that has been anticipated. And I made mention, like, the day after Halloween, it was going live, and the link is live. However, when I went to launch the store on the 1st, I realized, for whatever reason, and I haven't had time to actually go in to find out exactly what happened, but I had over 200 items on there ready to roll. When I went in to take the Halloween shit out and then launch the Christmas stuff, there was only like 54 items in there. And I'm like, where's all my stuff at? But I knew people were kind of looking forward to this because I hyped it up. Like, and I had some cool shit in there, Jill. I ain't lying. Like, I was really excited about this line. And I went to share what I had on there on the PFC page on Facebook, and I forgot to change the logo. It still has the Halloween logo, and the background is, more of a, it has like a orangish yellow thing. I'm like, well, that don't coincide with Christmas at all, so I have to go in there and change all that. But time is of the essence here, and we're recording this on Sunday, and I don't want to take up all of your day and all this. So if you do go right now to pfcholidays.printify.me, you will see a sample of what we have to offer for this holiday season, and I will keep working to add more and more merchandise on there. So I just wanted to make mention of that.
Okay, yeah, because that was one of the first things I asked when we got on.
Where's the shit? Is what you said. No, not really, but
yeah, because I was like, oh, I can do some shopping.
well, like I said, there's right now as we're recording this, just over 50 something items. There's there is a creepy soup, a tree skirt, and stockings and ornaments and wrapping paper. So there's and there. Listen, when I saw the wrapping paper, I was like, "You gotta be shitting me! How could I not do something with this?" You know what I mean? That's just so far out of the box. But I feel like all the shows have their own wrapping paper, so I had a lot of fun making this line and why I was so excited about it.
Oh yeah,
And so when I went in there and I'm like, 3/4 of my shit's gone. Like, why? Where is it? So I had to go in there and redo it. So
yeah, that would definitely be a letdown to go through all that work to add the stuff and then have it not be there.
The cool part of it is it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? And I have no problem in going back and redoing it. And actually, it might be a blessing in disguise, because I had shown my girl some of the shit that I had made, and she's like, "Oh man, if you had done this or if you had done that," and I'm like, "Well, if you were here when I was making it, maybe we could have collaborated."
Yeah.
So I think that gives us an opportunity because she's very creative, and she sees things in a different light than I do. But you get both sides on one page. We can create some pretty cool shit. I have no doubt.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to when we're done with all the recording, going on and looking to see what there is as of right now.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, as people hear this, it won't matter. I was like, well, maybe I can pull it up here, but if I had thought about that ahead of time, I would have had it prepared. So it would have been real easy to make the switch over to share some of the merchandise. But
next recording,
hindsight's always 20/20, right? How's things in your neck of the woods?
Things are weird. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard, like, as you get closer to like between the 30th of October and the 1st of November, that the veil to the other side thins, and then it's at its absolute thinnest like between like October 29th, 30th, November 1st, 2nd kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been rough.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't getting any sleep, and because it was almost like that's when people were like, oh, she's like at her, I don't want to say weakest, but maybe, because okay, so this is a quick story, and this is the one out of all of them that stuck out with the most because it was like more of a personal thing. Okay, I had went to school with this kid named Ricky, and we were like first grade boyfriend girlfriend type thing.
Okay.
And I know at one point he went to work with my brother, saw my brother's last name, asked if he was related. And my brother's like, "Yep, that's my little sister." And he said, "Oh, that was my girlfriend." Yeah, in first grade, dude. He
Calm
shortly
down.
yeah, calm down. We weren't married. And shortly after working with in fact, while he was still employed where my brother was working, he killed himself. And So, like, fast forward a few years later, I was working at a party store, and we had a bottle boy who his job was strictly to take care of bottles. His grandma owned the bar down the street, so he would go get us like mozzarella sticks and bar food and shit like that and bring it over. Well, in talking to him, he is Ricky's half brother. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. Well, years later, he married my husband's cousin, and they have kids. Well, he ended up, and I to this day I don't know how he ended up passing away.
Hmm.
Um, and the one night, it was Ricky coming to me because he knows his brother has passed, but he can't find him. Like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where he's at. But yeah, he was stressed because he can't find his brother. That's the kind of shit I've been dealing with while this fucking veil is thin. And it sucks.
Wow. This is not how I expected that story to go.
No.
Huh.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I've been dealing with like the last few weeks, waking up with really bad anxiety because I can be in the kitchen with no other person in there, but I know I'm not alone in there, if that makes sense. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
You sent me a video not all that long ago. I believe it was Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And with the box popped open.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't like an isolated incident. Is there something that is in your house on the regular?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. Um, I there was a point where just some crazy, like it was to the point where we were like thinking about moving because there was so much shit in this house. So I had a psychic medium come and do like a cleansing of the house, and she like got here and was telling me like we were like 5 miles away from your house and we were smelling a man's cologne, so we know there's a man here. And she was like, and there's a little girl here, and like she went through the whole house and confirmed a lot of what we had already thought. um like I could do an entire episode like just on the shit that's happened in this house in the last 7.5 years that we've lived here. Um, and like the what was causing all the problems was the man that was here because he's attached to a living child that was living here but is no longer living here, and he's pissed he cannot find him, so he's causing all kinds of trouble. And it was my grandson's other grandfather who had passed away, and they had moved out, and he couldn't find him, and he was pissed.
Oh man.
Yeah. But while she was here, she said, I just want you to know, she said, you and there's a couple of your neighbors, that this area is kind of like a way station for them, like a train depot, whatever you want to call it. And they're in and out. And she said, it doesn't matter what you do. I've done the iron nails at the four corners of the house and all that stuff. And she said that will stop the negative. She said, but it's not going to stop everything from just like passing through.
You got to be shitting me.
Nope.
You sound like a train depot, and like this image just popped in my head of just
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's constant. Like my husband called me yesterday and said, I got to tell you what just happened. He was in the kitchen by himself, had warmed up food, and hit the stop button because he doesn't like the beep. And he walked over to grab walked over to the fridge to grab something. He said, I heard the microwave start up. Someone started it up for 2 minutes. I was in the kitchen by myself.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shit like that. It's constant. We hear people walking up and down the steps when no one, yeah. And that's been like since we've moved in. Yeah.
That's the one thing that I hear is because the hallway is like right up above me. And like I have been in here or working on something and I can hear people footsteps going back and forth down the hallway. I'm the only one in the house.
Yeah.
My dad's out, or I'm the only one in here, and I'm like, to the point to where I'm like, somebody is here, and I will go upstairs, and
No
because
one's there.
there's only a couple of people that can get in here, without my knowing, like
Right.
they have the access to come into the house. Um, there wasn't anybody here. And I'm like, I got you.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep. There's been a
So at
couple
that
times
point, I'm
like,
on my best behavior.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it all the time. And I know I was telling you about how I went to the antique store and bought the Holly Hobby doll, and my dumbass didn't cleanse it, and there was a lot of shit happening. And I went through last Sunday after we recorded with some sage and saged everything, and it calmed down a little bit, and I slept better that night, but it lasted about a night, and then it was right back to it. Yeah, even my husband said, you've been talking all night in your sleep, like carrying on conversations. Like you talk and then you stop and listen and then you respond and then you stop. Yeah.
Has he ever recorded anything like that when you're in that environment?
No, I no. I know years ago we recorded me snoring.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, I don't think he has, but that would be a good idea.
For sure. Like I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised it hasn't been a thing, especially if you are dead ass asleep and you're carrying on a full conversation. That would be very interesting to go back and listen to. Like, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
What was happening? Do you
Yeah.
remember what was happening?
I
You
do
know,
I do remember at one point waking up yelling, "What the fuck did you do?" But I don't know what it was for. No
man,
idea.
if Roy's like nothing. I'm
I
just
was
laying here. What the fuck? Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand where that is a shit ton to deal with.
Yeah. It's very tired because I'm not getting the rest I should be.
For sure.
So yeah, that's been great.
And where we work, it's just walking into the building takes a mental toll. Like if you are not at least a solid 90% walking in, you are in for it
Yeah.
on that particular day.
Yep.
Sheesh, bless your heart.
Yeah. It's been something.
Hmm. Yeah, I can imagine. The good news is the topic this week is not going to be all that deep and dark.
Okay.
I mean, it has dark elements to it, make no mistake, but I wanted to find something that would kind of be a bridge between your genre and the established genre and vibe of this show, and to tie in your appearances on Power Tripping through the 80s. And on that particular show, we more often than not will break down a list.
Hmm.
So I kind of wanted to tie that in with what the vibe of the show for here is on Creepy Soup. So what I found was the 10 best PG-13 supernatural and scary movies. And here's why I chose this one. Because I find to be more on the edge of my seat with these PG-13 rated psychological thrillers more than your traditional rated R slash 'em up, hack 'em up, your Michael Myers and your Voorhees and your Krugers and things of this nature. When you start tackling with people's psyche,
Yeah.
that's more terrifying to me than anything. So that's kind of why I chose this. What's your opinion here?
I'm excited to hear this list for sure. And I'm more of the mind, like, do I like horror movies? The older ones, yes. I can't really say I've watched too many. Like I had to, of course, this isn't the 80s, but I was watching The Hostel, and I had to shut that shit off. Like that was just too. But yeah, thinking back, and obviously it's a rated R movie, but like The Shining, I watched that all the time when I was a kid. But when I watched it when I was older and understood what they were talking about, it scared the shit out of me.
That is one of those movies. Yeah, that was probably the first psychological mind fuck I that registered. Like, what in the hell?
Hmm.
Yeah, that is a creepy ass movie.
Yeah.
Just the little nuances and Jack Nicholson, the transformation. I mean, you in the beginning of that movie, and I don't believe it's on this list, so we'll go ahead and deep dive this for a second. The beginning of the movie when he's interviewing to be the innkeeper or whatever, you already see low key elements of crazy
Yeah.
in his delivery. But man, as the story moves on and he just starts losing it, and the physical aspect, he was so brilliant in that. So
Oh,
brilliant.
absolutely.
So, all right. Now, we're going to our good friends over at ranker.com
Ranker.
for this. Okay. The list is actually 85 movies strong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Clearly, we're not going to tackle all 85. We're going to look at the top 10 here. The Exorcism of Emily Rose is the first one. You familiar with this?
Yeah, I've seen it. It wasn't one of my favorites. I and I hear other people talking about it, and I don't know. And and if I'm not mistaken, that's got Nancy Travis in it.
They have here
Maybe.
the three top actors are Laura Linney, Tom Wilkerson, and Campbell Scott.
Okay, maybe I haven't seen that one. Because I'm thinking of one that had Nancy Travis, and I don't care what it is. If she's in it, I can't watch it.
Really?
Yeah, I have a few actresses like that, and actors, but she's definitely one of the top ones.
Brad Pitt is on that list for me, and the only movie I will watch with him in it is Moneyball. I thought he did great in Moneyball.
That's a good movie, and I don't go out of my way to watch Brad Pitt movies. I think, when he came out and had the long hair, Legends of the Fall, great. Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he's not one of my favorite actors, and neither is Tom Cruise.
He's another one for me.
Yeah.
The shit he doesn't get acknowledged for, like his role in Tropic Thunder, that was funny. He was hilarious in that. But like the Top Guns and the Mission Impossibles, and I know we're going off a sidebar. That's what we do on the 80s show, so why not bring it over here?
Absolutely.
He's listen, pretty boy actors, I just can't do them. I can't do them. I'm more into obviously your Stallones and Arnold and that type of thing. But like Tom Hanks is my favorite actor. I
Hmm.
wouldn't. He's not a pretty boy. You know what I mean? But yeah, anything anything with Brad Pitt, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Vin
I like I
Diesel's
said,
another one. I can't do Vin Diesel.
I can't. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Um, yeah, I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
Not a one. Me
Not a
neither.
single one. Um, yeah, I don't think I've ever. The only movie I can watch that he is a part of is The Iron Giant.
Haven't seen that.
It's a cartoon.
Oh well, okay. All right then. Didn't he do the voice one of the Guardians of the Galaxy characters? Was he Groot? I don't know. Mm,
Yeah,
I didn't know that until after the fact, and I'm like, well, it's just his voice, and it's kind of it's not even his really voice. He's just making noise. It
yeah.
must be Groot. So anyway, back to the list here. Complete total. Number 9 is the movie 1408 with John Cusack, Samuel L. Jackson, and Mary McCormick. In this thriller, um, a renowned author is a skeptic of supernatural phenomena. His cynicism leads him to room 1408 of the Dolphin Hotel, despite warnings from hotel management. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Is this based on
That's
a true story?
I don't know, but it's a very good movie.
Is it?
It's a very good movie. It will yeah, you'll shit your pants a little bit. It's a good movie.
So this came out in 2007. Was it in theaters?
You know what? I don't
I
know.
just don't recall hearing anything about because I saw it. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I'm like, is this a year? But no, it's a hotel room apparently.
Yeah, I remember God, it was a while ago. Because my husband loves movies.
Mm-hmm.
Loves movies. Um, in fact, we used to joke. I know this is probably another sidebar, but that movie from the '80s, that Stay Tuned
Yeah,
with John
the
Ritter.
it just popped up on Tubi last night, and I damn near watched it. I was like, I have not seen that in so long. I was so excited, but I am going to watch it at work for sure.
Well, because my husband's name is Roy,
Mm-hmm.
and John Ritter's name in the movie is Roy Nables,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he like starts living in all these TV shows and movies and shit. And so I used to call him Roy Nables because of how he is. So one year, I took the kids shopping for like, I don't know, his birthday, Father's Day, something, and Judy had picked out that movie for him, and we watched it. And that was the first time I had ever heard of it. And we sat down and we watched it. I was like, holy shit, that's an awesome movie.
John Ritter and Pam Dauber, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Mindy from Mork and Mindy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of them cult classics. People forget about that movie until it pops up. You're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, why didn't I think of that? Yeah, oh man, absolutely.
Yep.
That love. It is so funny that you say that because I was like I said I was going through Tubi and it popped up on new releases or whatever. I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. And I have not seen that movie since probably 1992 or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's
Rented
probably
the VHS.
yeah, that's probably when I watched because again, it was a movie I hadn't seen, but my husband had, and we rented it and watched. And I'm like, oh my god, that is you.
Number 8. Another I am not familiar with this. The Eye. Have you seen The Eye?
I think I've seen like the case for it at the video store, but I've never watched it.
Okay. Character is the recipient of a double corneal transplant that restores her sight with the help. Oh, Jesus, this is going to make me. She learns to see, however, frightening visions convince her that a terrifying alternative world exists and only she can see it. See, that's too complicated for me. I'll be straight up with you. If I have to put more than if I have to put that amount of effort to make this make sense,
Yeah.
I am tapped the fuck out.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to really have to think about shit. This is why I don't watch movies with subtitles. I don't want to read it.
Yeah, because then you're missing what's the motion that's taking place. Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've tried to watch Passion of the Christ or whatever that one that came out all those years ago that everybody was all up in arms? Well, of course I had to check it out. Nobody fucking told me it was all in subtitles.
Same.
I ain't doing it no more. I just can't do it, Jill. Like, closed captioning on your regular shows. I understand if you can't hear and you need to read that shit, but some people have this stuff turned on all the time.
I know.
They leave it turned on, and I find myself reading more than I'm watching,
Yep.
even though I understand it's fucking weird.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
F. 7. I gotta believe that this is on your radar. It certainly was mine, just because it had Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. The Grudge.
Yes.
The one was kind of creepy.
Yeah, that movie was something. And other than the Iron Giant, my son didn't really watch cartoons like when he was little. He watched scary movies, and The Grudge was one of his favorites.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we watched that one often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. Because a lot of times when I go through and I watch it, and then you see how everything ends or whatever, I'm like, I need to go back and see that replayed. How did I miss that? You know what I mean? So, but it's certainly not one. If I see it on TV, I'm going to stop what I'm doing to watch it. It's not on that level for me. But
I've seen it enough. It wouldn't be on mine either. Yeah, and maybe some of these are on your list, but it was The Grudge, The Ring, Jeepers Creepers 2. I watched those movies so many times because of my son.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think any of those are in the top 10 here. They don't stand out to me. Now, coming in at number 6 is part of a saga. Part of its own saga, but it has a genre that I'm going to get crucified. Go ahead and send me your hate tweets. I have never been into Lord of the Rings. I have never been into
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is what comes in at number 6. This genre, I appreciate it for what I have seen enough clips and trailers, and I appreciate the shit out of what this franchise does for this genre. And it made J.K. Rowling a billionaire practically.
Yeah.
One of the most famous writers in the world. And I love that for her. I appreciate the fanfare. I appreciate all of it. It's just not in my wheelhouse.
Mine either. And I think we actually discussed this on the live for the 100th episode of Creepy Soup. That we had discussed it, and like Rachel and Jenny were like, we're going to force you guys to watch it. No, you won't.
These sons of bitches are like 3.5, 4 hours long. I feel like in some cases. But if you were to, what did I read? If you were to sit down and watch all of the Harry Potter movies, It's like 10.5 hours or some shit, something
No.
crazy.
I got shit to do. I can't.
You know what I could do in that amount of time?
Yeah, the extra sleep you could gain.
All I'm saying is if I'm doing a marathon like that, it's going to be like Rocky, Rambo, something I give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, which, you know, November 1st rolled around here, which for me, sidebar, the start of the holiday season, and I
Mm.
have a particular movie that makes the transition into the Christmas season. It's not too Christmassy. Fucking Die Hard.
Yeah.
It was Die Hard Day the other day around these parts. Fa la 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 la. Anyway, keeping in tune with Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe. He's the one that plays Harry Potter, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, he's the star of number 5 here, and it's
The
not
Woman
a
in
Harry
Black.
Potter movie. Yeah.
I loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I don't remember a whole lot about it. I do remember up until recently that was the last movie my husband and I had went to the theater to see. And then and we broke that streak because I think, I don't know, January, February we went and saw, the fuck is the name of it? The Von Erich movie. The movie
Oh,
about the
Iron
Von
Claw.
Erich. Yeah. The movie
Yep.
about the, yeah. So that was the last movie we went and seen, but before that it was The Woman in Black.
Oh,
Or, yeah, it was good. It was suspenseful. And all I can remember is like a pond with a car. Like, I don't remember a lot of it, but I just remember liking the movie when I saw it.
the write up they have here is Radcliffe plays a lawyer recently widowed and grieving the loss of his wife when he is sent to a remote village to put a deceased eccentric's affairs in order. Soon after his arrival, it becomes clear that the villagers are hiding a terrible secret. Kips is the character's name, discovers that his late client's house is haunted by the spirit of a woman who is trying to find someone and something she lost, and that no one, not even the children, is safe from her terrible wrath. Okay, here's the other thing. If you start incorporating kids into this shit, that's a whole nother level of mind fuck. I have a that strikes me on a different level when a kid is a target or a kid. I don't know. It freaks me out. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we got this far into the countdown before we got to one of this guy's movies. M. Night Shyamalan. Are you a fan of his shit?
I'm not gonna say I've seen a whole lot,
Okay.
and I got a feeling that this might be the one, but like, I love The Sixth Sense. Love it.
That's what put him on the map.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate this guy's filmmaking. Even the movies that have been pretty much shit on because they weren't his best, outings. But with any director, they're not always going to be home runs every single time. And he set the bar so high right out of the gate with The
Yep.
Sixth Sense.
Yep.
Number 4 is Unbreakable.
And I was gonna say, like, the ones that I've seen, like Signs. I'm not into the whole alien thing, and I just didn't get Unbreakable. I just didn't get it. No.
And I can understand why. And this is one of those low key ones that you either liked it or you didn't.
Yeah.
With this, I appreciated it for what it was. It's another one of those movies I actually sat down and watched it 2 times in a row because I was already a fan of this guy. You mentioned Signs. I really enjoyed that movie, and I'm not into the alien thing either. but I really enjoyed that movie. I thought Mel Gibson knocked it out of the fucking park with his portrayal of his character in that movie. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. I mean,
See, and that's why I watched it. I am a Bruce Willis fan. I love
yeah,
Bruce Willis.
I was a fan of their dynamic in Die Hard 3.
Yeah.
So when they came over and did this movie, I'm like, well, you have my attention. You know, Samuel L. Jackson has become one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Like, he is so unmistakable at this point.
Yeah.
He's an icon. He has become iconic for a number of reasons, not just Nick Fury and all that, but this was a prime example of, man, when this guy gets his working shoes on, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite Samuel L. Jackson movies is A Time to Kill.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Love that movie.
For sure. Okay. We are going up to number 3. Oh, I was wrong. Number 3 is The Ring.
Okay, yeah. Yep, seen that one a lot. It's a good one.
I'm a fan of Naomi Watts. I don't mind telling you.
I like her.
I do too. Not just because she's easy to look at either. You know what I mean? Like, it was this movie. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get behind her. Number 2 is The Others with Nicole Kidman.
I love that. See, that's
Yeah.
another one. I love that movie.
I have not seen it.
Oh, it's so good. I think we touched on it when you were, I think it was you and I in one of the episodes were talking about what if, or maybe it was Sean. I don't fucking know, but like, nope, it wasn't. It was neither of you. It was, I had went on the other guy's show a few months back where he said, what if we're the ones that are dead and we think we're being haunted? And I'm like, have you seen this movie? And he hadn't. And that's like, don't want to give spoilers, but that's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm. So it's highly recommended. Would you recommend it? Yeah,
Absolutely, yes.
it is a little bit of an older movie. It came out in 2001, which is kind of crazy when you sit there and think 2001 is an older movie, but it's over 20 fucking years old. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost 25 years old. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, number 1 is The Sixth Sense.
I kind of figured, yeah, and I love that movie.
I do too.
And for the longest, and Roy, my husband and I had went to see that in the theater, and it was one of those movies that after seeing it, I would lay in bed thinking, is there like a gunshot victim walking through my living room? Like, yeah, that one kept me awake for a long time.
That yeah, one and it garners one of the most iconic scenes and lines in cinematic history. Yeah, I see dead people. And you know what isn't appreciated about that is Bruce Willis's character's reaction when he said that.
Yeah.
Like, you could see when the way he like looked over at the kid, like there was a moment of panic, but you could also see that internal struggle. Keep the fuck calm, because this kid just dropped some shit on you.
Yeah.
And man, Bruce was so good in that. So good in that. Let's take a quick look at what didn't make the top 10 real quick. What Lies Beneath, Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. The Mummy Returns. Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore.
Okay, hold
Were
up.
you
So the Mummy Returns didn't make the top 10.
correct?
Okay, I'm a little upset about that.
The Haunting in Connecticut.
Good movie. Went to the theater to see that.
Did you? The Ring 2. The Right with Anthony Hopkins. Pulse. Hellboy. I'm a fan of Hellboy. Hellboy was a
I've
cool
seen that a
movie.
few times. Well, maybe not the whole thing, but like my husband will watch it, and I'll walk through and I'll see it, and I'll stop and watch for a minute and continue on to what I'm doing. That's how I've seen a lot of movies, to be honest with you.
The Mothman Prophecies.
I've never seen that one.
Me neither. One Missed Call. The Haunting.
Good movie. The original or the remake?
This is the one that came out in '99 with Liam Neeson,
Okay, that would be
Catherine
the
Zeta
remake because
Jones.
the original has Vincent Price in it.
Oh, well, that just puts it on a whole different level, doesn't it?
Yep.
Vincent Price, Jesus. Dragonfly,
Oh,
Hellboy 2.
I love Dragonfly.
Yeah,
Yes.
not seen that one either. Oh, it's
That's
because it has Kevin Costner in it. That's
well,
why he's
well
another one
that's
of
why
them
I
guys.
watched it, but it was a good movie.
Fuck off. The Last Exorcism, Lady in White, Season of the Witch, Boogeyman, The Uninvited, Drag Me to Hell, Red Riding Hood, easy for me to say, Ghost Rider, Darkness Falls. See, now they're starting to reach.
Yeah.
Soul Survivors, Possession, The New Daughter, First. No, okay. All right. Well, thanks, Ranker. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah,
So that was the top 10 list of PG-13 supernatural movies. Was there any that was not mentioned, or I mean, you said that you wish The Mummy Returns would have made the top 10 in some regard. Was there any other movies you were like, wow, I can't believe that one was not mentioned?
um listening to the well for me, like I said, I really love Dragonfly. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
But I, as much as I love it, definitely don't think it was top 10 worthy. But I also don't think Harry Potter is top 10 worthy. So, um, I mean, for the most part, it wasn't a bad list. But I'm not a Harry Potter fan, and the movie The Eyes, the premise sounds familiar, but maybe I'm thinking Shocker. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, they're not always going to be perfect with
No.
these lists, but at least we didn't have to break out the mustard this
No,
week.
we didn't. No. And yeah, like my thing is Harry Potter, but if you're a Harry Potter fan, I'm sure you were happy to have at least one of them up there. Yeah, just not
If
my
you're a
thing,
Harry
but I
Potter
definitely agree with
fan,
number one. I agree with number one,
yeah,
and I usually don't, but this time I do.
I think that's the reason why I went with this list. Even just looking at number one, even if the rest of the list sucked, it would have given us more ammunition to just butcher the shit out of it. And
Yeah,
again, Harry Potter. Again, I appreciate the fanfare and stuff like that, but you almost have to take things like that off the table because how many movies do they have of this thing? 6 or 7 of them, I feel
yeah,
like. That is the majority of a top 10 list,
right.
and then, I don't know where Lord of the Rings fits into all that. Very similar physical presentation visual presentation. I don't know if it is considered a supernatural or what have you, but um, you're going to get that with any kind of list, because I know there are going to be people that are going to be tuning into this. Why wasn't you chose that Harry Potter movie and not this one? Hey,
Right. Yell at Ranker.
make your own list, send it in to us,
Yeah,
and we'll take a moment and look at it and talk about it. If you want to come on the show, we can send you a link. You can come on and be a
absolutely.
guest. Tell me why Harry Potter is a good saga. Tell me, convince me as to why I should dedicate any amount of time to
Rachel.
at least watch the first one.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where it starts, right? You got to
Yep.
start at the beginning. Tell me why I need to do that.
Right.
Sell it to me, because I'm just not seeing it. I'll
Mm-mm.
be honest.
Nope.
But with a compelling enough argument, I will at least make an effort.
I
And then
can't
I'll
promise that.
document it. Well, that's all right. At least you're honest. I will at least attempt it. I'll give it 30 minutes. I'll get if you don't have me invested beyond initial interest, beyond the 30-minute mark, it's just not going to fucking happen. I know
Yeah.
myself. But convince me to at least dedicate the first half hour, and
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Al, yeah. Anything else you want to throw out there? I mean, I just kind of hijacked your show, and I apologize.
Oh no. I like it. No, I can't think of anything. Just that I'm excited to be able to jump on and see the Christmas shop or the holiday store. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, pfcholidays.printify.me is where you will find all of our Christmas inspired merchandise for all the great shows here on the PFC Entertainment Network. And you can also still go. Hey, has the Creepy Soup store been fixed? I have not checked it
Yes.
in a minute.
Yep.
Great. creepysoup.printify.me. Go check out all. That's one stop shop for everything Creepy Soup. So go check that out. All right. Well, this was a good time. Thank you for having me back on here.
Thank you for coming on.
No, hey, the pleasure is all mine. I'm glad we were able to make this happen, and you will hear Jill again later this week on Wednesday with Power Tripping Through the 80s. So we're very much looking forward to that. I know you are too, because we gave a preview of what that list is going to look like, and
Yep.
so yeah, check that out on Wednesday. The episode will drop at midnight here, wherever you're listening to this fine broadcast. So I got nothing else.
I think that's it for me. Oh, I do want to say my birds were very loud. I know if I can hear it in my ear, it's going to be heard. So if you heard my birds, I'm sorry. They're assholes.
I guess you as a birds, you have more than one.
Yeah, I have two.
Do they talk? Are they talking
No,
birds?
they're parakeets, so they have the ability to talk, but the only one that ever seems to get any type of reaction is my husband, and that's because he will talk to them like throughout the day and the evening, and they move their beaks, and you can hear them almost like whispering. So I think they're
Oh
trying,
shit!
but they also say that females are less likely to talk than males. And I'm pretty sure they are females. I mean, they have female names, so. But I was also
I
told they were
see.
females, so. Yeah. We have
Interesting.
Lilith and
Okay.
Stevie.
Love that. Love that. Well, I can tell you, I didn't hear it on my end while we were recording this. So if it does come through, well, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's charm.
Yeah. Yeah, they get loud sometimes.
All right. Well, I mean, it is what it is, as they say. You know, if that bothers people, really, they've got way more.
Right.
They got deeper issues going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But all right, check Jill out again on Wednesday. Power tripping through the 80s on that will drop at midnight. And for all the latest information, go to pfcnetwork.net or keep tuned to our social media accounts over on Facebook. Look for Creepy Soup or the PFC Entertainment Network. So, I'm honest to God, now I'm done.
I think that's it. We'll see you next week and on Wednesday.